Aloha, this is Anna Surfing. Welcome to Beach Broadcast. Today is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. Oh my goodness gracious. Only a few more hours before the OBB bill gets passed. I got a lot to share, guys. I was going to do a Nasara podcast today, but I am a little bit tied up on some stuff. So I am doing an Alcatraz because the comms at Alligator Alcatraz were off the charts hot. Man, and I'll tell you, the vibes are off the charts as well. You all are just on fire. You're like this alligator just cracking up and laughing because President Trump's having a little bit of fun right now. Ooh-wee. So the President Trump and Ron DeSantis, they were announcing stuff at Alligator Alcatraz. I find it very interesting that President Trump shows up with no necktie, which many of you know that the job is done. Job got done. Something big happened. So they also announced about deputizing National Guard and other folks, quote unquote, in Florida to be deputized as immigration judges. He is so trolling the deep state, and this Alligator Alcatraz is a lot bigger than what we can. It's bigger than illegal aliens that the illegals that lived in the residence. They are really sending a strong message. President Trump even sent one back in 2023. I'll get to that later in this podcast. But okay, so he before he left, he was at the White House lawn talking to the reporters, and this is what he was talking about. This is one of the clips that he was talking about, explaining and I have been laughing a lot today, guys, on how somebody could try to escape Alligator Alcatraz. Check this out.
And with the Alligator Alcatraz, it's the idea that if some illegal immigrants escape, they just get eaten by an alligator or a snake or something?
I guess that's the concept. This is not a nice business. I guess that's the concept. If the snakes are fast, but alligators we're going to teach them how to run away from an alligator, okay? If they escape prison. How to run away. Don't run in a straight line. Run like this. And you know what? Your chances go up about 1%. Okay? Not a good thing.
So he's really trolling the lower level bottom feeder deep staters by saying, man, if you go to Alligator Alcatraz, you can't escape. But if you do, you can't run in a straight line. You have to go zigzag, okay, in order to basically dodge the alligators. Oh my gosh. And then he says this. He calls them the alligators will be cops. I'm going to call them crocodile cops. Check this out.
The model going forward, Mr. President?
It can be. I mean, you don't always have land so beautiful and so secure. We have a lot of bodyguards and a lot of cops that are in the form of alligators. You're not dependent so much. But I wouldn't want to run through the Everglades for long. We'll keep people where they're supposed to be. This is a very important thing. We're setting records at the border. We had no people come through that. Zero, no people. But we're going to keep it that way. So Ron did great.
And is this the model going forward?
Okay, you can see Ron DeSantis. He is trying so hard not to just lose it, especially towards the end. But I mean, here he is when he's saying the alligators. What did Trump said? You don't always have to be. You don't always have. Excuse me, you don't always have land so beautiful and so secure. We have a lot of bodyguards and a lot of cops in the form of alligators. I wouldn't want to run through the Everglades for long. I'm like, come on, how could you not laugh? And you see Ron DeSantis, he's trying so hard not to laugh. And then he kind of gets his composure back, and then he starts to laugh again, but he's trying so hard not to laugh. I mean, here he is busted up. And then in the next presser, you'll see what President Trump says again. But what I find interesting is here we have a white hat. All right, President Trump is wearing the Gulf of America hat. He's got no necktie. And then he says this, once he goes inside the detention center. Now, granted, this detention center ain't no pretty place, okay? There's bunk beds. There's like gate like chain link like walls. They have a communal everything food area, shower, restrooms. They have air conditioning as well. But listen to what President Trump and Ron DeSantis say about the people getting deputized. But I want you to pay close attention to the very end of this clip. This clip is only 2 minutes and 45 seconds. Pay attention to the very last part of this clip when he talks about Biden.
This is we're offering up our National Guard and other folks in Florida to be deputized to be immigration judges. We're working with the Department of Justice for the approvals. I'm sure Pam will approve. But then I'll have a National Guard judge advocate here. Someone has a notice to appear. Biden would tell them to come back in 3 years and appear. Now you'll be able to appear in like a day or two. So they're not going to be detained, hopefully, for all that long. We'll have people here in this facility that can make, it's a bureaucracy. The president's got to deal with the bureaucracy. Now, that Supreme Court ruling was good because that's going to allow him to be able to exercise Article 2 the way founders intended. But you still have bureaucracy. So we want to cut through that so that we have an efficient operation between Florida and DHS to get the removal of these illegals done. Say is don't let Florida be the only state. We've got very red states that should be doing this just as much as Florida's doing. That will increase their numbers. And then what happens is you'll have a lot of people that will deport on their own because they don't want to end up in an Alligator Alcatraz or some of those other places. So I think this is a model, but we need other states to step up.
I was going to ask you, would this be enticing for other states to come up with their own model?
They are doing it. We have Louisiana doing it, big Alabama's doing it. We have a lot of states. They seem to be red states. They're not too many blue states for whatever reason, but the red states, Republican-run states are doing it. The blue states don't do very well at security and policing, unfortunately. What would you say, Chris?
I would say that exactly right. The governor here has been fantastic in forming this partnership with the Department of Homeland Security. We were looking at different contracts with different vendors and thought, why not go straight to our governors and ask them to help us solve this problem? Florida was unique in what they presented to us, and I would ask every other governor to do the exact same thing. This is unique because we can hold individuals.
Mr. President, Mr. Governor, what's your message to Governor Gavin Newsom inside of this facility?
Well, the first thing you should do is come here and learn something, because they don't do this. They don't know. They wouldn't know where to begin, and if they did, it would cost them 100 times more. So I would say he should call the governor and Christie, and I'm sure you'd give him because his state is a disaster, and he doesn't do this. We're proud of him.
Mr. President,
I think our viewers at home should note that this is air-conditioned facility, so if any of the news claims are keeping them out in the hot, humid South Florida, that is wrong. It's probably 62 degrees here.
To be honest.
Or 70.
Hey, Biden wanted me in here, okay? He wanted me. It didn't work out that way, but he wanted me in here. That son of a bitch.
how would you describe?
Okay, so he is out here. I know some people are saying, why would the president of the United States want to go to a detention center to Alligator Alcatraz? He is so trolling the swamp. This is a lot bigger than illegal aliens going in there. Look at the descent. Okay, they didn't really get a lot of footage on this, but look at the detention center. They have bunk beds and they have the cages there. And then it is air conditioned, so the people aren't going to be in the sweltering heat, but they're not going to be at the detention center for very long. And with Ron DeSantis making the announcement that they're offering the National Guard and other folks in Florida to be deputized as immigration judges. Talk about we the people. We the people are now being able to be the judges. That's how big that's what I heard. That's what I saw. That's why I wanted to put my Nasara post together, because it has a lot of things to do with what Trump team, other governments are talking about in terms of what is going on. It's not coming from anons and surfers. It's actually coming from the Trump team. It's big, it's huge, it's massive, it's awesome. So he was talking about that, and then talking about working with the Department of Justice, and then saving a judge advocate here. Someone will get a notice to appear. Didn't say an illegal, and they'll be able to appear in a day or two, and then so they're going to be they're going to be detained not all that long, because the trial will be very, very fast. Okay, what did that call? President Trump called quick trials? Remember how he talked about quick trials at his rallies? After the briefing, he posted this on his Truth account. Because of the violence and criminality I've seen due to the open border policy of Sleepy Joe Biden in particular, allowing millions of people into our country who shouldn't be here, I wanted something representative to show how we fight back. And then it happened. I saw a picture of Alcatraz looking so foreboding, and I said, we're going to look into renovating and rebuilding the famous Alcatraz prison sitting high on the bay, surrounded by sharks. What a symbol it is and will be. Conceptual work started 6 months ago, and various prison developments are looking at doing it with us. Still a little early, but lots of promise. What is he saying there? He is telling you, we're ready to do the draining. Get ready, folks. Hang tight. It's going to be exciting. And when he talked about Biden, he said Biden wanted to send him there. And then he said, that son of a bleep. Don't you think that he's going to be sending Biden there, right? And then is this where the liberal left is going to lose their minds because they're like, oh my gosh, my favorite president is going to Alligator Alcatraz? Well, let's just wrap this up in a nice pretty bow here. Okay, let's talk about Washington, D.C. if he's talking about deportation and illegals. We know illegals could be somebody that robbed a store, somebody that, illegal activity, let's just say. But a lot of people are thinking illegal aliens. Washington, D.C. is not a state. It even says so in this liberal, here you go, AI. Okay, Washington State indeed is not a part of the United States, nor is a state itself. It is a federal district established by the U.S. Constitution in 1789, specifically to serve as the seat of the government of the United States. The Residence Act passed in 1790 and approved by the creation of the Capital District along the Potomac River, and it was officially organized under the exclusive control of the federal government by the District of Columbia Organic Act of 1801, and then 16 years later they formed, of course, the USA Incorporated, and did a bunch of illegal acts. Okay, it was formed for the dirty government to run its illegal and unconstitutional activity. Trump and DeSantis talked about deputizing in National Guards as immigration judges, and trial can happen in 1 to 2 days at Alligator Alcatraz. Now, stay with me on this, guys, and you can decide. In the past, President Trump called these quick trials, aka military trials. So he mentioned that at his rallies, right? Alligator Alcatraz seems more like a trial location for the illegals deported from D.C. Because D.C. is not a state. And I want to thank Vero's Hair for bringing that to my attention, because she was saying, what about this? And I'm thinking, oh, wow, I didn't really think of it that way, because I was thinking about the dual citizens in Congress, those that have dual citizenship with America and Israel. Would they be the ones also? That's what I was thinking they were for. But is it also for D.C.? Because D.C. is not a part of the United States, right? Oh, and it's getting juicy. Here's a really great, if you want to just come into the website and the article link below and come in here. This is a really great explanation of the formation of the DC and the USA Incorporated. It's only 7 minutes. Just after President Trump's briefing at Alligator Alcatraz, this article posted. Now, again, this is from this publication right here, and you decide, okay? But Gator Gitmo got their first guest, the FEMA person that got transferred to Gitmo, got transferred, was sent to Gitmo, and then she was sent to Alligator Alcatraz. I'll read the article in a moment. Remember, this particular source, Real Raw News, has not been community noted on X at all, period. But you decide. Check this out. These dirty FEMA people, the deep state thug who'd been confined at Gitmo and now detained at Alligator Alcatraz in the Florida Everglades. Reported last month, White Hats arrested FEMA Deputy Administrator Marianne Tierney based on empirical proof she had in August 2023 ordered FEMA agents in Hawaii to torture and terrorize and murder Lahaina residents. See, guys, I wasn't making anything up when I was talking about it, about the gunshots and about the people getting killed out there and purposely dying and It was horrible, and I don't want to relive those moments. It was just awful. So to do that behind Biden's black curtain and trying to flee the raging inferno that FEMA exasperated by soaking homes with accelerants like gasoline and kerosene. And I will add to this, and keeping them confined into the burned area. They couldn't escape out. They closed the road, and the dirty, this is just, it just gets me so angry. Well, anyway, on June 18th, we posted a follow-up. She was sent to Gitmo and demanded to be transferred off the naval base, claiming without proof that Gitmo staff treated her cruelly and inhumanely. She grumbled to anyone earshot, orderlies, guards, her JAG-appointed attorney, prosecutors, other female deep state inmates in shower stalls, JAG corpse, blah, blah, blah. And she was saying, she says, no one was sneaking. She was talking about how she was been, she claims that she was mistreated, and no one was sneaking into her cell at night threatening her. No one put glass shards in her food or gave her contaminated water. She's a drama queen. She made it all up in her crazy head because she thought it'd get her off the hook or something. Every day it was something new. A guard giving her the evil eye, her lawyer conspiring against her. She was a vivid imagination. But every single day, 100 times a day, she was screaming to get transferred out of Gitmo. So yesterday, her wish came true. And again, this article didn't post until after President Trump left Alligator Alcatraz. JAG apparently has a morbid sense of humor, so on June 30th, Tierney was transferred from Gitmo to Alligator Alcatraz, which makes no sense because JAG had already shipped her treasonous butt from Florida headquarters to Gitmo on June 1st. Flying her stateside seemed absurd since she's eventually returned to Gitmo to face military tribunal. One source wouldn't explain JAG's rationale, but only Acting Judge General Rear Admiral Leah Reynolds and the DHS could have facilitated the transfer. And this is what one of the sources says. Let's see how she enjoys Alligator Alcatraz. I bet she'll be begging to get back to Gitmo in a week. I have to decide. It just seems very awkward why President Trump would want to go ahead and visit a detention center. He may have to have signed some documents, signed a plethora of, okay, yes, go ahead, put him in trial. So again, we don't know exactly what the happenings are going to be, but this is what I found interesting. I want to thank Sherry Demick for sharing this. Thank you for your beautiful message as well. This is about the children. This was all about the children. So really, many of us that have watched how this whole situation play out and how the military had rescued the children all around the world, and the stop of illegals coming into this country stops human trafficking into this country as well. The child trafficking and human trafficking. It's all about humanity. It's all about the children. And what the dirty deep state did was just absolutely horrible to humanity. But I want to thank you very much, Harry. But she posted this. She had one of President Trump's post it was a message I had posted as well. President Trump posted this on September 20th of 2023. New border security will work for food. Now, this is on his real Donald Trump truth account. Okay, so I wrote, Bossman coming in hot. This was posted at 14:03 military time. Look what 14:03 leads to. It just has a message in here, and the message says, it's a Q post, Q64, and it has James Baker, Lisa Page, a bunch of other swamp rat names in here, fired for sale, the other swamp rat names, conspiracy, fake news, the swamp is being drained, trust the plan, justice, Q, go, alligators, alligators, oh my gosh, this is the most awesome president ever in our lifetime. We will never, ever have moments like this. When the swamp is completely drained, when we enter into our new version of the modern day Noah's Ark, it's going to be a completely different world. We won't have President Trump doing posts like this, where he's around a bunch of alligators wearing ice hats and they're singing and they're dancing. And he writes, President Trump through Il Donato says, now let's get the party started. Guys, President Trump, he's been in stealth mode. He's been doing things very quietly. In 2023, he was not the public eye president. He was the commander-in-chief behind the scenes. Now he's of course, public eye, commander-in-chief, everything. But this is incredible because we're going to really miss these days. I mean, we're going to look back at his posts and start busting up and thinking, wow, we went through that, because we are definitely getting to the tail end of this whole movie. And while he was at his Alligator Alcatraz briefing, Brian Glenn interrupts him and says, excuse me, Mr. President, listen to.
Oh, thank you. Wow. Thank you. I'm waiting, listening to these wonderful words, and they are music to my ears, but I was also wondering how we're doing, because I know this is prime time. It shows that I care about you, because I'm here and I probably should be there, but we do care. Thank you very much.
Yes, J.D. Vance was the winning vote. He broke the tie of the vote in the Senate. Now it goes back to Congress, and it's got to go through its, food fight for the next couple of days. But this is what I find interesting. President Trump, he posted an invitation. It was he's going to Iowa, and he has a new era of American greatness, America 250's kickoff celebration featuring remarks by President Donald J. Trump. You can get your tickets here. You can click on this link, or you can go to his Truth page. So that happens on July 3rd at 7:30 p.m. So the food fight in Congress is going to happen until then. We just got to see the drama play out. But this is going to be very big. Why? Because of this. President Trump, he posted this early this morning. The one big beautiful bill slashes deficits, national debt, while unleashing economic growth. You see that? It slashes national debt. So it's going to be massive. And then how is that going to have the impacts? That's why I want to do my NESARA OBBB podcast for tomorrow, and it may roll into the following day as well. But it's going to be very, very big, very beautiful, really it's just going to be ginormous for America, the people, the Main Street America. It's going to be absolutely glorious. And then President Trump, he posted this with the music in the background from Phil Collins. It's in the air tonight. I could feel it coming in the air tonight. I've been waiting for this moment all my life. Oh my gosh. And is it going to happen? And are we going to see things public? Now, yesterday I played a clip from Vincent Kennedy. I'm going to close with the second part of that clip from Vincent Kennedy. It is very, very powerful and insightful of what is to come. I wish you all a very beautiful, beautiful evening and day and afternoon whenever you're watching this. And do look for the NESARA JASARA post that I will have on YouTube. But God bless you so much. Thanks so much for fighting this wonderful battle. Wow. It's been a hard battle. We cried together a lot. Yeah, we danced, we cried, we hugged, we had kumbaya, we prayed together, and we laughed together. And now it's just so great to see many of you laughing again. Wow. It is wonderful. God bless you abundantly. Let me finish playing the second part of that Vincent Kennedy post that I played from yesterday. And I will have a show tomorrow on Wednesday. Aloha.
The quantum financial system is finally gone. And then comes the financial reckoning. The quantum financial system is now active. This isn't just about money, this is about control. And for the first time in modern history, the cabal is losing it. The fiat empire is crumbling. Offshore accounts are frozen. Trillions in illicit assets are being reclaimed and repurposed. The IRS and the Federal Reserve, both unconstitutional, both privately owned, are being dismantled quietly. Permanently, the new system is asset-backed, transparent, unhackable. It operates outside of SWIFT, outside of BIS, outside of Rothschild banking channels. It's a debt jubilee in motion. Mortgages, student loans, credit cards, zeroed. And yes, some Tier 4B individuals, the so-called internet group, have already been contacted. Redemption appointments are real. Whales have been funded. Bondholders are receiving liquidity. And the ripple effect will be planetary. Intel from trusted sources confirms that as of the 27th of June, redemption centers are live. Several key figures have reported payments in the hundreds of millions. Military operations in Reno, Nevada, the central node of financial coordination, have intensified. Private jet traffic has spiked. Secure digital transfers are occurring under blackouts. Bankers are saying it's done. No further delays. The system has crossed the point of no return. Even mainstream sources in Iraq are confirming it now. Purchasing power is being recalibrated. Forex screens are flickering with suppressed rates. The signals are everywhere if you know where to look. And then there's the 4th of July. That date isn't arbitrary, it's a constitutional trigger. President Trump, who has remained silent on certain matters for strategic reasons, is expected to declare the second Declaration of Independence. This isn't politics. This is a full restoration of the original American Republic. The corporate U.S. Inc. dissolved. The IRS, gone. The Federal Reserve, replaced. This will be announced under the full authority of a military constitutional alliance. Every enemy of humanity, from the boardrooms of Davos to the tunnels beneath D.C., is being confronted. Some are already in custody, others are being pursued, but none will escape what's coming. As the EBS begins, the final phase of this awakening will unfold. You'll be instructed to stay indoors, stay offline, and listen. There will be no ambiguity, no confusion, only truth and accountability. We've warned for years. We've decoded every drop. Now it's happening. This is not the end of the world. It's the end of their world and the beginning of ours. Stay strong. Stay awake. Trust the plan. Because you are the storm,